Several Mount Pleasant nonprofits are banding together to address the hunger crisis within the hospitality industry. Today, I talk one-on-one with Mickey Bakst of Feed the Need for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Mickey Bakst, welcome back to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
I am thrilled to be back here, my friend, and more importantly, thrilled to see you and know that you're doing so well.
Yeah, and I hope you're doing well as well.
I am enjoying a newly retired life, spending time with my wife and learning to adapt to this new lifestyle.
What have you been able to adapt to, Mickey?
Well, let's start with reality. The simple things is I have been away from home for nights our whole relationship. So, just as with anybody when you retire, you have to learn to move into your partner's domain because their life changes. And you now are spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at home, which is something you haven't done. And then learning to adapt to not being in front of people, doing what I love, making them smile, making people happy, as I hope I did for many, many years. And, so it's just, subtle changes that take time to adjust to, none of them being bad, but they're just, you lose something you've done for 47 years. No matter how ready you were to quit, it still is shocking to the system.
Is it still shocking to you?
Not anymore. No. Now I'm full tilt 100% into the next phase.
What is that next phase for you?
For me, it's learning to do the things with my wife that my career kept us away from, learning to grow together, learning how to interact in a different way, because we were, when you think about it, passing ships. We would connect, but always for short periods of time unless we took vacations. So that's a big next. The other next is, as you well know, I have a couple of charities, one called Feed the Need and one with my co-founder, Steve Palmer, over at the Indigo Road Group, Ben's Friends. And so I have taken on a mission to expand Feed the Need now, because more than ever, I heard the reports. I heard somebody say, we got 10 million jobs back, but there's still 10 million people who lost their jobs. We have restaurants are working, but there's no restaurants with the same amount of employees as they had before. Hotels, businesses all over are learning to do with less. And that means there are more people struggling. And Feed the Need is going to do everything it can to raise money to help organizations make sure those who are struggling with food insecurity. And this is people you and I know. Right. It's our neighbors. They lost their jobs. They don't have other jobs they can go to. Unemployment has run out. And now they're in a position where they don't know how to put food on the table. So Feed the Need is and I am working hard to raise funds to help make sure that we can help feed as many people as possible. So that's number one. And then there's Ben's Friends, which, as I said, Steve Palmer and I founded 4 years ago. And, just as there is such a dramatic increase in the need for food for people, there is an unbelievable increase in alcohol-related deaths, drug-related deaths, suicide, depression. And Ben's Friends is there to help all of those F&B workers who have lost their jobs, who are struggling with their addictions, we're there to help them find sobriety. So those are my two focuses at this point.
Yes, sir. And
Is it enough?
oh, that's perfect. As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you because you talk about obviously suicides, drinking, and all of these other addictions that are going on right now. Where is the uptick in that despite COVID going on?
Explain that question again. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. You talked earlier about addictions, drugs, suicides, etc. that's going on. How much of that was an uptick during the beginning of COVID?
Well, this uptick it's radical. Listen, imagine you're 28 years old, you already struggle with a drinking or a drug problem. You've lost your job. You're living in a studio apartment, a one-room apartment. COVID hits. There's nowhere you can go. The only thing you can do is drink or drug. And that uptick has been, I don't know statistics, but I know that if you look at all the national statistics, they're going through the roof. Alcohol and drug abuse is on a radical increase, and the relation to COVID is direct. People, for us alcoholics or us addicts, isolation is the biggest enemy that we have. And COVID is a disease that has isolated Americans. So it goes hand in hand.
And you talked earlier about obviously a lot of these organizations having to really do more with less. What are you doing more and with less when it comes to your two organizations?
Well, I think that honestly, I'm blessed in Feed the Need, and we're blessed in Ben's Friends because I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think that, we won and Feed the Need last year, South Carolina's Angel Award. We are a charity that gives back one of the largest percentage of money raised. We were in the top 10 in the entire state. I am blessed that I believe people trust me. And people know that I'm going to use the money they give for the right reasons. So we've been very fortunate to have people reach out to me and say, what can we do to help? And that's been great. So we lost a $600,000 event that we've done every year, Steve and myself and all the chefs in town. We couldn't do the event. But I'm out there and people are coming to us and saying, how can we help? So we've been very fortunate. You'll notice, and I'm going to send you a link, we are starting a social media campaign that I'd love your help with to spread everywhere, to try and raise money. And in Ben's Friends, the miracle of Ben's Friends has been Zoom. On March 16th, we shut down here and around the country. By March 23rd, we had gone up with a national Zoom meeting daily. Now we have 21 meetings a week on Zoom, where people from as far as Portland and Seattle to Miami and New York come in. So we've been very fortunate.
Yes, sir. And you talk about the people who are coming to you for Feed the Need and saying, hey, what can we do to help your organization? But let me ask you this, Mickey. What exactly do the people in the food and beverage industry right now need as far as food?
What do they need as far as
food and other
food?
Yes, sir.
Well, this Sunday, with the help of Mayor Haney in Mount Pleasant, we're going to be doing, it's called Operation COVID Christmas. We are going to be serving 1,000 meals to unemployed workers. This summer, with the help of Michael Shemtoff at Butcher and Bee.
Yes.
Michael and his team launched a grocery program that Feed the Need underwrote. And that was getting food to people. What do people need? They need to be able to eat. And we need to figure out avenues in which we can help them get the food to feed their families.
Now, which avenue are you taking right now, besides the event coming up on Sunday?
Well, I'm taking up right now immediately. We're doing the event on Sunday. We'll be serving 4,000 to 5,000 meals in North Charleston on December 14th through December 17th. We'll be feeding first responders at area hospitals. So those are the immediate things that Feed the Need are doing. And I am looking at other vehicles in which we support 3 organizations, 180 Place,
Right.
Our Lady of Mercy,
Yeah.
and Tri-County Family Ministries.
Yes.
Those are the 3 main organizations that help feed people, and Feed the Need helps them do it.
As a matter of fact, you said that the mayor wanted to give Christmas cheer, and you underwrote the costs of the box meals, obviously, for this particular event. What is the total cost for all of those box meals?
A lot. I don't know yet.
Yes, sir.
But I've got a lot of money. I've got a lot of money set aside and raising to get meals throughout December, because we're not done. We're going to be doing meals everywhere we can.
And for if somebody like myself wanted to help you out financially, how should I go about that?
I'm going to Feed the Need. Well, let me hold on a second. I'm going down. You're still going to see me. Can you still see me?
Yes, sir.
Go to feedtheneedcharleston.org. And there is a page in which you can donate at. feedtheneedcharleston.org.
Yes, sir. And I know the mayor of Mount Pleasant basically said this, quote, I started thinking about groups that have borne the brunt of this pandemic, and it was actually the frontline healthcare workers, the isolated elderly, and then hospitality workers. And he basically said that his decision was to direct a seasonal hunger relief effort towards restaurant and hotel employees. Mickey, let me ask you, how many hotel employees and restaurant employees are there in the town of Mount Pleasant?
I have no idea, my friend.
Okay, no worries.
I think the bigger question, of which I don't have the answer to, is how many are currently unemployed.
Right.
You look at any restaurant in town. How many people have not been brought back where you work? There's a lot of them. No restaurant in this city has brought back everybody. None that I'm aware of. So there are countless people out there who are unemployed. I don't have the statistics, but I know this, that every shelter in the region has more than doubled the amount of meals that they serve on a daily basis today from January. More than doubled.
And as a matter of fact, the Post and Corey said the problem has been specifically acute for hospitality workers, many of whom, as you mentioned, are out of jobs. They counted on for wages and at least one meal a day. Workers who held on to their jobs in many cases are earning significantly less than they did prior to the pandemic because the customer traffic is obviously down. Obviously, you've been in the restaurant business for a long time. What is the typical wage for a hospitality worker?
Well, the wages are not great. The line cooks don't make a lot of money, to be honest with you.
Right.
Waiters make a decent living in some places,
Right.
But everything's restaurant. Unfortunately, our industry runs on very narrow margins. The profitability of a restaurant is very low. And so as a result of it, historically, our employees have not been the best paid in any work sector. That's just reality. You know it is a fact. Look at those people cooking in the kitchen. What are they making? $15 an hour? So, it's a tough thing. I don't know the answer to the problem, but there's not a lot of money in restaurants. It's just the reality.
And let me ask you this too. If you were to get back into the restaurant business right now, and you talked earlier about margins, what exactly would you do right now?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Not a damn thing. I don't know. Quintin, I don't know. You know something? I just saw a thing that the Restaurant Association has decided to put on the oyster roast in January.
Yes.
5,000 people they're going to shove into Boone Hall. I don't know why a decision like that's being made. I understand that businesses have to make money to survive. Employees need to eat. But what I would be doing, even though I don't have a specific, I would be making sure that I made a restaurant that was as COVID safe as possible. Even to those that don't believe in this, the reality in my mind is there's a disease out there that's killing people randomly. And as a business person, I would have to do what I can to create the safest, the most comfortable, and the best environment.
Yes, sir. And I know, obviously, with Feed the Need, you're going to have this particular event to help the hospitality workers this coming Sunday. What other events out there are you going to help as far as helping those particular people?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I look for opportunities where my skill will help. Mayor Haney called me up and he said, I have this idea. And I said, what if we did this, this, and this? And so now the idea blossomed into something where we can feed people. I was called about how do we help hospital workers? Well, let's set up a thing and help feed and give Christmas meals to the hospital workers. As I find opportunity, will reserve money to help different ideas that come along or that I come up with. In the meantime, the balance of our money goes to those existing organizations that already have in place ways to feed people.
And I know you mentioned a couple of those earlier, but what other organizations are still existing that you're hoping to collaborate with?
Well, like I said, 180 Place, Our Lady of Mercy and Neighborhood House, and Tri-County Family Ministries, Meals on Wheels. That's not for hotel or restaurant workers, but there's a desperate need there. So organizations like that who are focused on that. If you go to feedtheneed.org and you see a donation page, my promise to the community is that we take the money that we get and we use it to feed people. And that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Yes, I think so exciting. And then thank you for all of what you do here in this particular town as well. Well, the unofficial Mayor Charleston, Mickey Bakst, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups, and thank you for your time again.
Thank you, Quintin. It's always a joy to see you. Your smile is infectious. Maybe that's the wrong word right now. Your smile brightens my day.
Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Yes, sir.